Hello everybody and welcome back to I Was the Teenage Exocolonist. We are now 17 and we are getting closer and closer to the end, which means we've got to work faster to romance our boy. So let's see what we can do. Oh, Anemone! You go to the Garrison looking for Nemi, but she finds you first, pouncing on you and wrapping her arm around your shoulders. Buddy, friendo, pal, she exclaims. She leans in, smiling wide with barely contained energy. If I don't do something a little wild, I'm gonna go bonkers, she says, so only you can hear. Everyone's so stressed out. Oh, me too. And I feel like... She inhales and bites her lips. I feel like I gotta do something extreme. Like I want to strip naked and climb on top of the colony and scream until someone makes me stop. Like I got bugs in my brain. So I got an idea, she continues. I need you to come with me so I don't cower it out. Nemi leads you by the hand down one of the lesser-used hallways of the Garrison until you come next to a stall room. Inside are two barber chairs and a table next to some dangerous-looking but delicate machinery. A stout woman with a buzz cut looks up from reading something on her holopad. What's up, Anemone? Need that side shave freshened up already? Nemi shakes her head and grips your hand tight. No, I want a tattoo, she says. Can you do that? The woman gestures to dismiss her holopad and pulls out a thick book from behind the counter. You and Nemi crowd around it, marveling at the sight of real paper as it falls open to display a selection of tattoo designs. Used to be the only thing I'd do here is buzz cuts and military tattoos, and hair dye for that Nomi kid, the woman says. But since we landed here, you haven't been the only person who's come looking for something a little more artistic, she smiles. Take a look through this and see what I can do. You and Nemi flip through the pages reverently. I was thinking, she says quietly, running her fingers over a circlet of thorns. I want something to remind me that Vertumna is my home, and everyone here is my people, to remind me why I fight. She shoots you a smile, uncharacteristically shy. I want something to link me to you, she says, looking away as her cheeks turn red. Out of everyone here, you're the person who means the most to me. Aww. Her eyes go wide. No, wait, we should get matching tattoos, she exclaims. Come on, what do you think? Oh no, this hurts. Like, I'm gonna say yes, because I plan to go back and romance her in my next run, so this is perfect. But I'm gonna break her up with Vase later, so this is so mean, but yes, of course. Hell yeah, Nemi says, pumping her fist. What should we get? The book of tattoo designs lays before you. What do you want to get? Stratospheric logo surrounded by knives, each other's names, mushrooms growing out of a human skull, suns to represent the twin sons of Vertumna, a sword and a shield. I am a Pokemon fan. What do you think, sword and shield? Whoa, Nemi reacts, just like knights. That's sodding awesome. Do you want to be the sword or the shield? I'll take the shield. You sit down in the tattoo chair and bare your right arm. The tattoo artist / barber transfers the design onto your skin and fires up the machine, which buzzes alarmingly. You and Nemi look at it, wide-eyed. I guess you kids never seen Earth Tech, huh? She says, preparing the gun. Tattooing's one of the oldest human arts, so there's not too much holograms and replicators can improve on it. The stuff I do here, it reminds us that even when we're out here among the stars, we're still just meat with thoughts. That's one way to say it. I'm gonna tough my way through it. It smarts a bit when the tattoo artist presses the needle onto your skin and begins her work, but you're pretty tough. Nemi looks a little green as blood wells up around the needle and grabs your hand. This is cool, she breathes as the design begins to bloom on your skin. It takes about an hour for the tattoo artist to get down the bold first strokes of your tattoo. Nemi holds your hand the whole time. When the artist steps away to stretch, Nemi leans in and gasps. It looks so awesome, Nemi says. This is the coolest thing we've ever done. This is galactic. She looks up at you. I meant what I said, she says, her voice a little wet. You're my best friend on this whole rock. You've always been here for me, and I'll always be here for you, no matter what, thick and thin. Nemi sniffles, then looks embarrassed. Man, it's dusty in here. The tattoo artist returns and finishes up your tattoo, then moves on to Nemi. She takes it bravely, though she sometimes squeezes your hand so hard it almost hurts. Afterwards, you go back to your room to decompress and admire your bravery. Nemi flops onto your bed and you climb on after her, careful with your aching arm and your newly wrapped tattoos. Oh, I know how that feels. I can't believe we did that, she crows, kicking her legs in the air. That was so awesome! She turns to you and pushes her unruly hair over her shoulder. Thank you for coming with me, she says seriously. I probably wouldn't have done it if you weren't there, and I probably would have done something reckless. She laughs, brash and unashamed. Well, even more reckless. I'd do anything for you. Nemi blushes and hides her face in her hands. Yabby, she exclaims. Don't make it weird. No, I love you. Way more than Vase. But I have to break your heart first. Ah! Oh, wait. Does this mean that Nemi's on the menu now? I gotta see. She is! Oh! And you know, she'd look so great with the others. She would, if it weren't for a certain demon child. I'm gonna dance. You, Rex, and Mars take the dance floor. After a while, Nemi follows, pulling Vase behind her. You dance until it feels like your heart's going to burst from excitement, from exertion, and from the sheer joy of throwing yourself around the room with your friends. Nomi, who's playing DJ with Congruence, spins up something a lot slower, more romantic. Grab a partner and pull them in close, they announce dreamily, or whatever distance you both feel comfortable with. Everyone giggles awkwardly and shuffles around, feeling an intangible friction of teenage politics. Who dances with whom? Who makes the first move? I can't do Vase. Well, of course I'll do Nemi then. Nemi smiles and dances with you, clearly not taking it too seriously. She steps on your toes a few times, apologizes, then spends the rest of the time making honking noises at inopportune moments in the song to mess with the heartfelt lyrics. You join in and giggle your way through the rest of the song. After your dance, she politely excuses herself and goes to dance with Vase. You see them making out on the dance floor a few minutes later. No! Nemi! Alright, and then there's the poem that I am not going to read because it makes me cringe, but I will applaud politely. Red looks pained, but Lum continues. Alright. Ooh, to your left, Vase and Nemi lead the cheering that erupts. Lum and Rhett leave and the music spins back up again, but only a few die-hard partygoers still want to dance. Everyone else has broken into small groups to discuss the announcement. You are excited. You, Vase, and Nemi are stoked. It's about time the colony stuck up for itself. Vase is going to report to expeditions first thing tomorrow. Oh, hunting! We could go hunting! I'm gonna go too, adds Nemi, but Vase squeezes his arm around her shoulders. You've only been training for a couple years, Vase replies. But don't worry, babe. We need people like you to stay and defend the colony. Nemi grumbles, but she promises to keep the colony safe. The party fizzles out and everyone drifts away from the lounge. You return to your empty quarters, your birthday forgotten. The colony is no longer safe. Alright, does this mean we can go out hunting? We might be able to. I may just need to do 1 month where I... Let's see. If I go to the ridge... Oh! You report to the expedition tents to find not just Utopia, but Chief Security Rhett and Vase as well. I can't spare any more of my people, Utopia's explaining to them. You've already pulled almost all the foragers, and we're running skint crews in the ridges as is. There's one person you could spare, Rhett replies, turning to face you. Hello, Yabby. How'd you like to transfer onto one of my hunting parties? Utopia tells me you're one of her best explorers. We could use someone like you. He indicates to Vase. I need someone who could keep up with this one. Vase puffs his chest out proudly. Sure, I'd love to hunt. Rhett nods. Good. I'm glad to hear that, he says, then turns to Vase. But first, I need to make sure you know the basics. Vase, bring out the Vricky. No! No! Vase goes over to a tent and brings back the Vricky on a long chain. It's sprightly and bright-eyed, some might even say cute, and it comes up nearly to your waist. Vase looks proud of his duty as monster bearer. No! But I have a pet Vricky. I caught this one myself, Rhett tells you. I'm adding it to the training zoo, so don't kill it, but feel free to give it a few pokes. Then tell me, what are its weaknesses, its strength? How would you defeat it in a fight? Alright, analyze the beast. Aw, man. Oh, at least I don't have to kill it. I thought they were gonna make me kill it. And I'm like, but my pet Vricky is like standing right behind me. Shows how much faith I have in them. study the creature for a long time. It looks nervous, skittering from side to side and making a clicking noise. You throw a stick at it, and it leaps up and grabs it in its mandibles. It angrily tears it in half, then glares at you. You think about your own pet, attack dog. This one is larger and fungus-like, maybe close to the end of its mobile part of their life cycle. You know that one day all Vrickies must take root and become nurse trees for the next generation. You rattle off other facts you've learned from playing with attack dog, and Rhett nods. Good, Rhett says. Let's see if you're as good at hunting as you are at identifying them. Come join the hunting squad next month and we'll see how you do in the swamps. Got it! But first I'm going to gather some more alien devices for my BF Vase. It's interesting because now that we can go to the hunting, I have the high perception. I don't need to do anything over there technically. But maybe I will do everything we can there, or anything interesting I'll show, just because I've never been there before. This is my first time going there. Alright, well Sim died, so I'm in mourning, and I cannot go out just yet, so let's do guard duty instead. Get some other things done, at least raise our friendship with Vase a little bit more. There we go, that's better. And now I can give gifts. Here you go. Boop. And what's up, Nemi? You're catching up with Nemi between her drills when she looks over your shoulder and frowned. Newton's bloody apple, she curses. Oh, it's her mom. She's here again. You turn and at the other end of the garrison you can see a small crowd of young soldiers forming around Chief Steward Antecedent. She's handing out lunch tiffins and doling out hugs to anyone who comes within melee range, which is quite a few of them. You've noticed just from hanging around the garrison, even some of the transplanted Helio soldiers have started calling her Auntie. This must be why. She comes by every couple days, Nemi grumbles, like we're still kids in the creche, playing in her skirts. It's so disruptive. Eventually, the crowd around Antecedent thins, and she makes it over to you and Nemi. She greets you with a warm hug, and she smells nice, like flour and yeast. Hello, Yavi, she says. Have you eaten? I don't need your help. Antecedent's smile grows thin. Of course, little bird. Bless your heart, you're all grown up now, aren't you? Just like my Annie. Antecedent turns to Nemi. You can almost feel the temperature in the room drop several degrees as Nemi stonily stares down at her mother. Antecedent clutches the handle of her basket. How about you, Annie? Have you eaten? Do you need... Nemi scowls and crosses her arms. I'm fine, she says, cutting off her mother. Just like I was yesterday and last week. I don't need you to manage me. If you're sure, Antecedent responds, hesitantly. It's a mother's job to worry, Annie. She reaches out to lay her hand on Nemi's scaly cheek, but Nemi jerks backwards and slaps her hand away. Oh yeah? Nemi retorts. You just sit around and worry. Must be nice. I bet you'd like it if it was all I did too, huh? If I quit being a soldier and spent all day cuddling babies and wiping noses and fixing clothes like you did, nice and safe in the creche forever? You don't belong here, Antecedent. Antecedent takes a little step away from you, blinking rapidly. Beside you, Nemi huffs triumphantly. I never thought that, Annie, she says, laying her hand on her heart. I worry because I love you, and I always will. I'm just doing what I can to keep you safe. Love doesn't keep anyone safe, Nemi exclaims, raising her voice enough that some of the soldiers turn their heads to watch. Her thunderous expression convinces most of them to get back to business. Nemi clenches her fists. Love didn't keep Calm safe, did it? She says, her voice breaking. There's no amount of love or worry on this whole stupid planet that can do that. So you should just stop, okay? Stop, or do something actually useful. I'm never gonna be like you. I'm gonna fight. Oh no. Vase peels off from his unit and jogs over to stand beside Nemi. You okay, babe? He asks, putting his hand on Anemone's shoulder. She covers it with her own and angles her body towards him. Yeah, everything's just galactic, she mutters. My mom was just about to tell me again how much she wishes I would give up being a soldier so I could pop out babies and be safe. Antecedent sputters, trying to explain herself, but Vase beats her to it. Anemone is an exemplary soldier, Chief Steward, he says calmly. I know it's hard for a mother to accept, but we're all much safer for her service to the colony. He puts one finger under Nemi's chin, talking directly to her. And remember, Nemi, that we exist to protect people like your mother, to preserve the bond between parents and children. Vase gives Antecedent a stiff smile. If the stars align, one day we won't lose any more sons. A soft "oh" escapes Antecedent as she blots her eyes. Oh, you are one of the good ones, aren't you? She says, clearly trying not to cry. Just walking in the footsteps of good men and women who served before me, ma'am, Vase replies. We couldn't do it without you keeping the hearth lit for us. Speaking of, I'll take a lunch, if you have any left. And Tessonant laughs and hands him a tiffin from her basket, then goes up on her toes to give him a quick hug. Over her shoulder, Vase shoots a cheeky wink at Nemi, who rolls her eyes and snorts. Poor Tessonant. I felt so bad for doing that. Hunt in the swamps. What are we gonna get from this? We'll get combat and friendship with Vase, which is exactly what we want. Whoa! This is so cool! I've never been here before! Wow! Hi, Utopia. You look down at the drone rifle in your hands. This is the big leagues. Finally, you're going to get out there and take the fight to the enemy. No messing around out there, Chief Security Ret says. These animals are dangerous. They want to kill you, probably as much as you want to kill them. Your job is to get to them first. Utopia sighs. And by no messing around, he means don't you go taking risks, she says. As head of the expedition, she's technically in charge of you in the field, though Ret is the one who molded you for this. There'll always be animals out there, but you're a lot harder to replace. And if you take down anything edible, she adds, tag it for reclamation so we can bring it back to the colony. Vase is practically humming with excitement beside you. Ret pairs you up to head out together, but Vase looks skeptical. But sir, he says, shouldn't Yabby stay back? It's pretty dangerous where I'll be going. They might get hurt. Ret shakes his head. You two are a good match, he insists. I want you to watch each other's backs out there. Stay within transceiver range of each other at all times. You might not always be able to reach the colony or Utopia, but you'll have each other. Never engage the enemy alone. We'll make a great team, right, Vase? Ret smiles and claps you both on the shoulder. Good teamwork is the key word here. Teamwork. You go to high-five Vase, and he stares at you like you're a hover snake. Eventually his shoulders drop, and he raises his hand. You finish the high-five. Ret takes off on his glider, and Vase turns to you. I guess we'll make the best of it, Vase says. I'm more of a lone wolf, but you're lucky. You're going to learn so much from me. Ugh, God, I hate you. The Subaqueous Swamps are especially dangerous, Utopia says. Something in the air makes the beasties here all kinds of fickle. Could be the storms, but normally docile creatures are a lot more aggressive. She bites her lip. And to be perfectly straight with you, there are some darn scary things out there in the swamps. I don't much love that we're sending you kids out into a little war zone, Utopia says. I've been to the swamps before all this war business, and it's a beautiful place even if it is real spooky. Hurts my heart to see shoulders tromping all over it. She summons up a smile. But I know teenagers can be just as capable as adults when it comes to surveying and hunting, she says. You've got faster reflexes and stronger stamina than a lot of these old codgers. Just try not to take stupid risks out there, okay? Promise your honorary auntie? Vase scoffs. You're not my aunt, he mutters. And I don't need a coward telling me what I'm capable of. Oh, God. Why must I have to date you? Ooh. Log. Water. I want to stand in the water. Oh, I can't. Alright, let's just explore. Ooh, this place is so pretty. I see what Utopia means. It's spooky but pretty. Oh, hello. A unisar has been following you and Vase from a distance. You see it now and then, out of the corner of your eye. It doesn't seem aggressive and looks recently fed, so it isn't hunting you for food. This is pretty unusual behavior for such a normally skittish creature. Oh! It's a pet? Befriend it! Doesn't act like a wild animal at all, more like an algorithm. It's not interested in your food, and your soft cooing, nothing you can offer. It's unnerving and strange. It continues to back off and keep a precise distance from you and Vase. When it sees you paying attention, it backs off further, then comes back to observe you. That's it, Vase says, shouldering his rifle. I've had enough of this. The presence of danger seems to unlock some new subroutine in the Unisar's instincts. It charges you. Defend yourself! But I want a pet! Vase, please let me have a pet! 6, 6, 5, 4. No, wait. 4. 8, 5, 7. 4, 3, 3. It doesn't even defend itself. Bizarre. You and Vase kill it, and it dies instantly, just like any other perfectly ordinary unisar. Too bad their meat is toxic to humans. An hour later, you notice a muckwalker watching you from the water. It dives back under when you point it out to Vase, but a few minutes later, it's back again. Oh, I'm sick of being spied on, Vase exclaims. He stomps over the water's swamped edge, splashing up mud and brackish water. Oh, I thought I could get a pet. I heard there was a pet in this area. Did I just kill the potential pet? Is it like if you act a certain way, it's gonna die? The worst thing about hunting in the bog is, well, the bog. You're up to your knees in sticky, clinging mud, sucking at your boots when you try to move. You're stuck. You poke at it with a stick, then lose the stick. How deep does this go? Build a bridge. You find some branches that seem wide enough and strap them together using tall grasses, making a kind of raft. You drop it into the muck where it sits without sinking. Then you make a second raft, walk to the end of the first and drop it down. Then you pick up the first raft, walk to the end of the second and drop it down. Continuing this way with your 2 rafts, you and Vase are able to cross without even getting wet. Takes forever, but it works. Hey! There's a different variety of bushbub here in the swamps. Slimy, smooth-featured, and gloopy like the rest of the foliage. They seem just as slow, but suspiciously intelligent as their dry biome cousins. You come across one of their little shrines and find their well-worn paths in the loamy soil. While you're inspecting the shrine, you hear a blurbling, groaning noise, and Vase smacks you with the butt of his rifle to get your attention. Barreling down from different directions on the path are 2 goop-faced bushbub sentries, calling out to each other as if they'd been laying in wait. They attack! Defend yourself! So it's gonna be a lot of killing here, I guess. I feel bad, but also, I knew what was gonna happen when I committed to this. Ooh. I knew I was gonna have to do this. That doesn't make me feel any better. You kill one, and the other runs off. Well, sort of. You've never seen an animal move quite like that, like an ambulatory sack of oatmeal. Analyze the corpse. Vase sighs as you kneels to take a closer look at the goofy gushbub. Bushbub! This must be some subspecies of bushbub that doesn't appear on your Hollow Palms bestiary. Its rock-like skin is much thinner and slimy, and its branches don't look like they've ever had leaves on them. You cut it open, and its organs just don't make sense. They're just jumbled in there willy-nilly. Can't even figure out how this creature would digest food. Maybe it's a genetic abomination, but there were 2 of them. I know who's making them. Utopia told you that usually docile creatures are aggressive here in the swamp, but you didn't expect to run into a pack of murderous hopi. They're charging straight towards you down the path, their powerful claws drumming against the ground and making enough noise for an animal 5 times their size. Vase raises his rifle and prepares to fire. Kill them! I murder everything! There we go. They're really quite harmless individually, slaughtering the hordes. And they're so exhausted from having hopped all this way that they're easy to pick off. You kill off all those little hop-eyes. Vase does it with a kind of frightening joy. Aw, that's my boyfriend. The genocidal maniac. I'm gonna go around some stuff very quick, because we could always come back, but I want to see if there's any exclamation point towards the end. Ooh, that's a faceless. No, thank you. Actually, maybe? Hang on. Oh, here we are. There is an exclamation point. It's getting late, and you and Vase should be heading home soon. Then you spot it. There on a plateau, half a click away, glittering in a beam of blue evening sunlight, a unisar. You pull out your holoculars. This one has a particularly beautiful coloring, a pale bluish white, the last rays of sunlight glimmering, shimmer through its rainbow mane as it paws the ground and sniffs the air. You're drawn to its terrible beauty. The question is, when did it last eat? Try to get closer. Maybe this is the pet. I know there's an achievement for getting all 4 pets, but I do not have enough engineering to get to robotics, so that might be a future thing. Vase watches you, expecting something bad to happen. You approach very, very slowly, pausing for a few minutes at a time for it to get used to your scent. It takes you almost an hour to work your way up to the plateau, but when you do, the unisar bows, seeming to accept you. What do? Kill it? Film it? Or capture it? I want the pet! I'm sorry, Vase, I'm capturing it! This beautiful wild beast is far from tame, and you wonder if this is the right thing to do. But you know if it was Vase's choice, he would just kill it, and surely this is more merciful. You have a moment where you look it in the eye and see intelligence. Murderous intelligence. But it actually follows you down the slope without any trouble at all. You get the sense that it's chosen you. Or at least, it's curious enough about you to want to learn more about you. You radio Cal to let him know you're bringing home a new unisar. A unisar? He chuckles. No idea what we're gonna do with one of those, but we'll figure it out. It sure looks like it trusts you, he continues. Make sure you come by Geophonics to keep that bond up. We could use a hand with other animals too. Ooh, that's when I should try and get all 4 pets. I already have 3 of them, but Cal's run would be perfect since we can tend to animals in the park, and that means we could also bond with Cal. That's a good idea. Hopefully I won't forget. Alright, let's keep exploring though. I want to see what that faceless was about. Alright, let's see about that faceless and then we'll come back. Definitely gonna explore here more than once, that's for sure. Because I bet there's gonna be more to this. What about this faceless? What's going on with this? Despite being told to watch your back, Vase has gone ahead and probably found something to kill indiscriminately. To add insult to more insult, he's left you with his heavy pack, like you're here to carry his stuff. You huff and sling on the pack on your shoulder, trying to follow Vase's tracks in the soggy ground. Your holopalm transceiver tells you can't have gone far. You're so absorbed in tracking, oh, it's Noctilescent, that you don't notice something tracking you. It steps out from the path of the bough of the gloop willow and blocks your path. There's something deeply unsettling about it. It's some sort of chimeric beast on its bottom, wrapped in tattered strips of flesh, though from torso up it looks almost humanoid, complete with stars. Is it holding a weapon? And most upsetting is how its collarbone seems to unzip in a chaotic mess of fleshy teeth, revealing a neck of glistening sinew and muscle. Its insectoid face seems to truly see you, a shrewd intelligence in its milky eyes. They speak. I am Noctilescent, a gardener. The voice is rough and wheezy, and they struggle to form the words, as if their larynx was not designed for language. They take a deep, raspy breath. You are associate to the divergent process, symbiosis. You are vermin, a weed. You do not belong in the garden. Wait, they know Sim? You bravely raise your eyes to their face, cataloging the ways you see the seed of Sim's slightly inhuman features staring back at you. Their hair is a bit like Sim's as well, as if it's actually alive somehow, waving in wind that isn't there. Whatever they are, they patiently wait for your response. The delicate petal-shaped weapon in their hands hums ominously. Why have you been trying to kill us? They laugh. You think? It's more like a crunching sound, makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up. They seem to have exhausted their ability to maintain small talk with you. They continue regarding you, studying you. You try to look around them for Vase, but you realize, if they're anything like Sim, they've orchestrated this meeting with you alone. They point at the weapon and say, Gun, you understand. I can kill you. I will fucking fight you! 95! Oh, it's fine, I've got a lot of stuff. Violence is the answer. Card becomes physical. Ah. And then let me just... Oh yeah. I'm gonna make it. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm gonna do it. You go straight for Noctilescent's weapon, which seems to surprise them. You grapple for the weapon and eventually gain control of it. You fire at Noctilescent's. Stars! This thing is some sort of sonic weapon. You feel it thrumming in your hands as the petals go whoop and Noctilescent falls over dead. You stare in awe at the brain-liquefying weapon, and as you do, it disintegrates into nothing in your hand, like a time-lapse of a dying plant. So, not all gardeners are friendly. I'm gonna tell Vase! You explain that a creature came out of the swamps and spoke to you. Not just any creature, but a sentient alien, a gardener. Surprisingly, Vase hears you out. He takes in what you're saying with the grim expression of someone getting a mission briefing. No, Rhett swore we were only hunting animals, he says when you're done. If you actually spoke to one of them. Spoke to 2 of them, actually. He starts to walk away, clearly shaken. It's the swamp. You're seeing things, he mutters, not looking at you. I know what I saw! And I know I killed him, but also that they come back to life, so he's gonna be pissed. What's up, Vase? You're walking through the Garrison when a wall of trophies catches your eye. When you take a closer look, you notice that all the awards are for various combat skill competitions. Vase's name features regularly on them. You hear Vase's heavy bootsteps clang behind you. Heliopause's Star Brawler. Every year since they let me start competing, he says. He taps on the glass. That one. I had a bet that if I won, I could give away anything on the duty roster for 1 month for every opponent I knocked out. I didn't see a potato peeler for a year. He smirks. They stopped betting against me after that. Vase crosses his arm and looks up at the wall of trophies. He nudges your arm. Do you want to hear about the first fight I ever won? Yes, of course! I don't know. I know I don't look it, but I was a small kid. Wimpy, scrawny. I was always getting pushed around by the older kids. Well, one day, those older kids decided that if I was going to play soldier, they were going to haze me like one. Vase snorts. It was 4-on-1, all of them bigger and stronger than me, but they underestimated me. Doesn't take a lot of strength to break a man's arm, Vase continues. He shoots you a look, holding your eye. He cried like a little bitch about it too. His voice goes higher, mocking. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo-hoo. He slaps you on the back, and you know what? It felt great. Wow, you're so cool! Vase smiles widely. Hell yeah, I am. It worked though. That kid whose arm I broke, no one gives a shit about him anymore. He dropped out of the combat program, and everyone had started including me in training exercises instead. And then when I hit my growth spurt, Vase throws back his head and laughs. Did they ever eat shit? Vase reaches down and grabs himself between his legs. He winks at you. And thanks to— oh my god! And thanks to Daddy Gene Tech, nobody doubts on the goddamn man anymore, if you catch my drift. I did not need to know that! Fucking nasty! Take this, don't talk to me for the rest of the month, okay? What? Sounds of protest rise from the crowd. Oh yeah, this is like one of the last times we'll actually get a competition. Humans, I am so loyal. Shut up, Cal, I am evil this run. Xeno wrangling. The crowd goes silent as the ranchers bring out the most dangerous animal of the games you have ever seen. A fully grown manticore. It roars and thrashes its mane, stalking around in a circle on a lead hammered into the ground. It's got a muzzle on, Vase complains. I bet its claws are filed down. Chief Rhett, this isn't a challenge. On the sidelines, Rhett shrugs and spreads his hands. Vase and Nemi go before you. Vase is an accomplished wrangler and manages to wrestle it to the ground easily by mounting it and looping a rope behind its joints of its claws, pulling them behind the manticore's back. Nemi manages to do the same thing, but it's a struggle. She limps out of the ring with a wrenched shoulder as the wranglers free the manticore again. It snaps its claws and grins hungrily. It's my turn! Time to kill. Got it! I won every year. Vase is a wild freaking manticore, one of the most dangerous beasts on Vertumna, something that could never be tamed, and they want you to wrestle it? No problem. You're offered the choice of implement. You choose an electrified baton. It's a good thing you do. The manticore swipes at you, fatigued but still ferocious, and you give it a few jolts. Then it begins to show fear. You come in close and deliver a few more to its soft underbelly. It roars in pain and confusion. The crowd roars in bloodthirst as you force the manticore in submission, especially the Helios. You aren't sure if they were rooting for you or for the manticore. After the festivities, everyone is supposed to take a few days vacation. You and your friends relax, but the adults move around the colony like ants in a hive, fortifying the walls and prepping for the human offensive against the planet. I'm part of that. I murdered Noctilescent. But I guarantee you it was because I caught him off guard. They don't seem to have the most high opinion of humans. What's up, Nemi? You were supposed to meet Nemi for lunch, but she didn't show up. You head to the Garrison to see if you can find her. You spot Nemi's shock of red hair over by the close-range fighting ring. As you approach, she finishes a flurry of blows with a roundhouse kick that almost knocks the training dummy's head clear off. Ki-ya! Nemi roars, echoing off the vaulted ceiling of the Garrison. Nemi spets back from the ring and pulls up the bottom of her shirt to wipe her face, flashing you a glimpse of her muscular stomach and the blue-green scaling that dances over her ribcage and down her hips. Her skin shines with sweat under the harsh lights. You catch her eye and she shoots you a smile, as quick and bright as the sun glinting off a metal roof before it disappears behind her usual bleak expression. She jogs over to you. What are you doing here, Yappy? She brings you up the time on her hollow palm, and her eyes go wide. Oh shit! Were we supposed to eat lunch together today? I'm so sorry! You look incredible today. You gulp and give her a long, teasing gaze. Nemi goes red and puts her hand over your mouth. Shh, don't say stuff like that, she hisses. I didn't know you were watching. You're gonna get me in trouble with Vase. Nemi grabs her water bottle and drinks from it, then pours the rest over her head and flicks the water through her shaved side. We can still go get some chow if you want, she says. Just give me a sec. Nemi pulls on an oversized sports ball sweater over her workout clothes, her thumbs propping through the holes worn into the cuffs. The lettering on the back reads kombucha. As you exit the garrison, you're stopped by a few of the other soldiers, who all seem to want to give Nemi a high five or tell her about their days. Even though she's clearly exhausted, she musters up a few heartening words for each of them. They all know I'm dating Vase, she says apologetically, when you finally emerge into the sunlight. It's weird. All of a sudden, I'm like a hero to them, too, and I haven't even done anything yet. I train every day, though. Probably like 6 or 8 hours, she says, rubbing her shoulder and stretching it out as she walks. It feels good to work hard. Like, it just wipes out all the bad thoughts. Anything that's bothering me. She makes an exploding motion with one hand. It just goes away. Poof! I can't afford to lose my focus, Nemi says solemnly. I can't let myself get distracted. If I do that and someone dies because of it, null it, man, she says, shaking her head. The thought of it, it keeps me up at night. Sometimes I just get up and run around the colony until I'm too tired to stand. No one else is going to die on my watch. You understand, right? She asks, turning to you. You work harder than anyone. How do you do it? What are you fighting for, Yabby? For the future of the colony. Nemi nods in agreement. Me too, she says. When it comes down to it, that's all that matters. I made it through. I was able to tough it out. One more room. Endure the pain! Come on, I killed Noctilus and I can get through this room. There we go. Yeah! We did it! You wake up feeling refreshed. Your headache is gone. Ow, my head. You're still a little dizzy, but the room has stopped spinning and has returned to one singular reality again. The vibrations have stilled. Deese's face fills your vision. Yabby, he exclaims. Yabby, are you okay? I saw things, Deese. Tell him about my dreams. Yeah. Explore glow and expeditions. Oh, yeah. Well, we're not going to do that this time. I don't feel like transcending. Oh, actually, I might. I may do it, but just reload, because that is all. I think that also. Hang on. Wait. Oh, yeah. I think that got. That may. Oh, it did. That ending got destroyed because of Demon Child. Alright, I am going to transcend, but I'm not going to do that on camera. I just need to try and get my saves to fucking work again. Demon Child. Oh, you're crossing the courtyard on patrol when a shadow blocks out the sun for a second. Then people start screaming. An absolutely massive creature swoops overhead and lands right in the center of the courtyard, kicking up dust and sending other colonists scattering. You shield your eyes and get a closer look. It's almost like a pterodactyl, or maybe a dragon. Its wings is enormous, and at least 15 meters across, and it definitely looks like it could pick up a human and fly away with it if it wanted to. It's not doing anything right now, though. It flexes its wings and considers it with you with 4 eerily intelligent eyes. As a guard, you're the first on the scene. What do? We can scare it away, kill it, or convince it to leave? Can I convince it to leave? You've never seen one of these before, but you can figure out why it's here. The courtyard is a nice flat spot that soaks up a lot of heat during the day. It's just sunbathing. You've run a hose over from Geophonics and sprayed the giant beast down with cool water. It ignores you at first, but eventually it swings its beak towards you and gives a few baleful squawks. Then it takes off, sprinkling the colony with droplets from the beating of its wings. Everyone's impressed you managed to handle it so well. Rhett lectures you for wasting time against an unknown, possibly dangerous creature, but he gives you kudos anyway for handling the situation. Yay! Ooh. You cross paths with Vase in the Garrison. Yabby, he hails you. Just the person I wanted to see. Come with me. Vase leads you through the labyrinth corridors of the Garrison to where the soldiers are housed. Most of the people who arrived on the Helio have moved into colony housing and their rooms converted to storage, but it's not surprising to learn that Vase is one of the holdouts. Vase's room is humble, but far from utilitarian. As the motion sensor lights flicker on, the first thing you notice is that it's full of space travel paraphernalia. Star charts, ship schematics, flight plans, and the like. A hologram of a small personal-class spaceship hovers in the corner. As you gawk, Vase shoves your shoulder lightly and moves into the room. "It's too bloody noisy out there on the floor," he said, "and I wanted to ask you something. Have you ever wanted to just leave?" He starts, giving you a thoughtful look. "You know, to get away from all this terrestrial bullshit and return to the skies where we were born. Nearly constantly." Vase laughs humorously. "Yeah, of course. I knew you were one of the smart ones," he says. "This colony, this planet, it's too small. It's just," Vase continues, looking around the room, "I can't help but feel like space is where I belong. I've always wanted to be a spaceship pilot more than a soldier," he says. "It suits you." "Hell yeah, it does," Vase replies. "I don't want to be a soldier for the rest of my life, that's for sure. Not on this shithole planet. Protecting people who don't even want me to be here? Pass." He shakes his head. "Nah, space is where it's at." Oh, interesting. "This colony just feels like a little small for someone of my caliber," he says, looking around his cluttered room. "I miss zero-G, and knowing that only a thin skin of metal and your own wits protect you from the vacuum of space. When we came through that wormhole, when our bridge was destroyed and everyone thought we were going to die, in that moment, everyone on that ship was one cohesive organism. And we were going to live or die on the strength of those bonds, of our training," he says. "It was an adrenaline rush that nothing could ever match. Anyway, I was thinking, I want to return to space, in my own spacecraft," Vase says, fiddling with the dials on the holo projection of the little ship so that it flickers. "Just a little one. Enough room for 2 people and some cargo." He looks at you. "I'll need a second in command," he continues. "Someone to complement me. Someone who I know is going to have my back." "I do my best work on my back." Vase laughs and shakes his head. "Easy, soldier," he says, but he's smiling. "I'm being serious here." Vase's eyes dart over to the wall of his bunk, where you see a few personal photos interspersed along with the spaceship stuff. "Nothing's keeping me here anyway," he says. "My mom split when I was a baby for all the good it did her still being stuck on the same spaceship with us, pretending I didn't exist, and my dad died about 2 years before we came through the wormhole." Vase's mouth quirks up at the corner. "Figure you'd know a little something about that, being an orphan and all." "Sorry for your loss." Vase snorts. "Don't be," he sneers. "My dad was a mediocre soldier with authority issues. He liked to fight, and he wasn't smart enough to do it right, and he got his ass bounced from the program and put into the civilian roster." From the tone of Vase's voice, being a civilian is probably the worst punishment he can imagine. "Turns out resisting authority was the only thing keeping the shithead together. He filled the vacuum with drinking and tried to knock me around, till he couldn't even do that because I moved into the barracks as soon as they let me. Eventually the old man got in a fight he couldn't win," Vase says, shrugging. "Fell down a bunch of stairs, I guess." Vase runs his hand through the holo projection thoughtfully. "It's bloody weird. One of my earliest memories, I remember idolizing him for being tough. Then I spent my childhood hating him, and the rest of my life pitying him for what a goddamn weakling he was." "You need therapy, man." He puts his hand down and flicks off the holo projection. "That's why I want to go to space," he says. "I don't want to end up like my sad old man, fighting and drinking until it all gets to be too much, and I sodding well snap. I want to make my own name for myself, in the stars." Interesting. So there is some depth to you. I mean, it's still coded in "I'm better than everyone," but there is some depth to you. Oh! You should probably do something about the unisar you captured. It's eating its way through everything. It doesn't actually produce any food, and the other ranchers are starting to get annoyed by its attitude. Like it knows something they don't. It's creepy. You figure you may as well try to getting used to taking a rider. If people could ride unisars around, that would be pretty useful, especially when the robots and vehicles start breaking down. You bring it outside, and it stares at you with its eerily intelligent eyes as you approach with the saddle, and only shimmies a little as you strap it to its back. You brace yourself and hop on. Ride that unisar! Unisar takes off on a run, ducking and weaving as it tries to throw you off. You get down low in the saddle and wrap your arms around its back. The unisar is an unusually intelligent animal. You can sense it's trying to figure out how to throw you, or just make it too uncomfortable for you to hang on. It slams its body against the walls of the pen, trying to snap your legs. When that doesn't work, it tries rearing up on its hind legs, or reaching back to scratch you with its hand-like paws. It tosses its head to try and gouge you with its horn. It's uncomfortable, but you're no stranger to discomfort, and you're not going to let this unisar dominate you. You hang on until the unisar stops fighting, its great sides heaving under your legs. You pat its scaly neck, and it tosses its head like it's sighing. You get the sense that you haven't really broken it, more than you've just convinced it that you'll be less of a hassle if it just plays along. Success! You convince her to let you ride her now. Oh yeah, now that you can get her to stand still long enough to check, you determine the unisar is female. What do you name your magnificent beast? Clever girl, or Twilight Sparkle, Face Ripper. I'm gonna go with Clever Girl. Excellent. You and Clever Girl should be very happy together. So I have Clever Girl, Hot Pop, and Attack Dog. Oh, look! She's walking around with us, Clever Girl. She's so smart. I have many pets. You are huge compared to the other two, though. I definitely need to try and get all the pets in my next run. What's up, Nemi? Something's off with Nemi today. You can tell just from watching her train that she's moving more slowly and seems distracted. Every so often, she breaks form to stare at Vase, who's working with a group of trainees on the other side of the garrison. Her unit leader singles her out and chastises her, gesturing for her to take a break and get her head on straight. Nemi scowls as she slinks over to the rest area, where you hand her a bottle of water. Hey you, she says, shooting you a little flicker of a smile as she takes a drink. What's up? Vase isn't talking to me, Nemi replies, sighing heavily as she recaps her water bottle. It's been 2 days, and he just acts like I'm not even here. I've tried to talk to him, and he says that he needs time to think. We've got into it about how much time you and I spend together. He thinks you like me, and I told him it's not like that. We're just friends, but... Nemi exhales noisily and scrubs her heel over her palm into her eyes. Maybe the problem is that you're so alike, she says. If I love him, then what's to say I wouldn't feel the same about you? He has a reason not to trust us. You must have done something wrong? Oh god. Here, I'm gonna save here, because this seems like a point where we would switch over and actually start following Nemi. So let's see. What if I say, do you want me to talk to him? Oh, Nemi stutters, genuinely surprised. You don't have to do that. I mean, you can if it comes up, but... She crosses her arm and picks at the scales on her elbows. Please don't just storm off and talk to him, okay? If he knows that I talked to you about it... She blinks and shakes her head, as if shaking off a bad thought. You know what? Never mind, okay? It's nothing. I'm sure he'll come back around eventually. You and me, we're just friends, right? Oh, for now, yes. Faces just need some time. Nemi looks down. Yeah, I hope so. Thanks, Abby. You and Vase have been tracking a unisar, a young one, not yet adept at hiding its tracks. When you corner it, it seems confused. It blinks at you curiously. But when Vase moves his hand to his gun, it opens its horrible maw and roars at you, the horrible furnace of its empty belly visible as it peels its face back. Suddenly, Vase is there between you and the unisar. Not this one, he says. Get out of my way, Vase growls, or things are gonna get ugly. I'd like to see you try, you dick-brained posable action figure, Vase retorts, raising his fist like he's ready to fight Vase, drone rifle and all. Oh no! I gotta side with Vase! Vase raises his gun and aims at the unisar. Vase lets out a battle cry, voice cracking, and attacks him with the walking stick. Oh no! I'm sorry, Vase! Oh man! I don't want to do this! Vase is my best friend! I know not in this run, but he's always been my friend. Oh, man. Oh well. I don't deserve any stars. Dee smacks Vase across the face with the stick, nearly knocking him out, but you don't go down so easy. You trip Dees and kick him hard in the ribs. Maybe a bit too hard. You think your Folsom can crack. Dees curls up in a fetal position and lets out a pained sob, probably as much from the pain of not being able to defend this forest friend, this horrible, deadly forest friend that would have just as happily killed and eaten Dees as anyone else. You hear Vase shoot the unisar. He comes over and offers Dees a hand up. Screw off, Dees mutters, curling more tightly in on himself. The two of you leave him there. Oh man, I don't want to do that. I'm evil and I hate it. I'll never forgive myself. Hey, can we talk about you and Vase? Hang on. I don't think I have enough empathy to break them up, but I can try. Just to see. What about him? You guys are a cute couple. Oh, that's it. Well, okay, well, what if I said the other thing? Oh, it's gone. Hang on. I just want to explore this. I don't know if I have enough empathy. I think I might need 30. Because I'm at 22 right now. 24, actually. He's a trash bag in a man suit. Persuasion 30 or empathy 30. Okay, we can't do it just yet. You're just putting on your boots to grab dinner in the lounge when you hear the colony's sirens begin to wail. It's the yearly attack. They couldn't have waited until you ate dinner? Rude! Outside your window, you watch the colony defense begin to mobilize. Her holopalm chimes with the usual reminders for all civilian colonists to stay indoors. Join the defense! You head to the Garrison to grab a blast rifle, then report to the front. Chief Rhett looks surprised to see you, but assigns you to a squad with Nemi and tells you to get up on the walls and do your best. On the other side of the walls is more Xenos than you've ever seen in one place ever. They seethe out of the forest, large and small, herbivorous and predatory, fungal and otherwise, flying and crawling and hopping towards the colony with single-minded determination. The air fills with the pew-pew of laser turrets and the crackle of blast rifles. The enemy's front line collapses, only to be replaced by even more Xenos, just as many as before, if not more. There's no end to it. The firebreak turns into a graveyard of dead and dying alien bodies, wave after wave crawling over the corpses until they roil at the base of the walls like the foam on the wave when it hits the shore. You hear the walls creaking underneath you, but they hold strong. There is no sun to set and glow, but night falls on the battlefield without any break in the fighting. Your fingers begin to cramp from pulling the trigger of your blast rifle. Finally, you're relieved by the second guard shift. You walk straight into the Garrison and right into a dreamless sleep. You're awoken 6 hours later for your next shift. The kitchen have provided the soldiers with pressed soy rations and hot blep tea, which you grab then make your way back to the walls to survey the carnage of the night. As you arrive, your holopalm lights up with a security message. Security personnel, we are under siege, the security chief says, getting right to the point. On Earth, sieges were used to break the city by starvation or drought. We have plenty of food and water. Guards will rotate 6 hours on, 6 off. So as long as we keep the Xenos on the other side of the wall, we can hold them off for days, weeks even. Weeks? Everyone exchange exhausted looks. He pauses, then adds, we can do this. We're stronger than them, and we're not going anywhere. I remember that. Poor Nemi. 6 days pass. You're on shift. Ooh! Noctulescent! Oh no! Hey buddy! Remember me? You sense a foul miasma of hatred from the other side of the planet. It has to be Noctulescent. They look up and see you watching them, then they scowl and step backwards into the shelter of the trees. Tell Nemi. No, they won't believe me. Wait, come back so we can... Go to hell, Noctulescent! You cry. Your cry of challenge is lost under the steady tattoo of gunfire. At least you feel a little better. Finally, after the 6th day of the siege, you look down on the sight of your blast rifle and see a curious thing. The monsters are retreating. So he doesn't even talk to me if I killed him before. The alien attackers have been defeated. We did it. You're welcome, you hear Chief Rhett nearby, looking livid. What did he do? Race out there like an idiot with his honor guard? Defend strategically unsound positions? Put himself in danger so we had to save his overstuffed ass? The soldiers all shift uncomfortably, but no one disagrees. And when I actually needed him, Rhett continues, taking his 12-hour beauty rest while the rest of us slog through endless shifts. Oh. But we made it. We made it through another year. That one was particularly intense. Oh man, we got a lot of friendship with Vase though. How are we looking? Anemone is 100, Vase is 67, not bad at all. Alright, well, next time we have more stuff to do. I think we're going to explore the swamp some more, see what we could get done there. I know there's like a special ending or something connected to it from what you guys have told me. And we're also going to try and get our empathy up to the highest it can go so that we can break up Anemone and Vase so that we can date Vase. And then the bad ending will be over and then we can start working on getting the good ending. Although I think there is one other bad ending in this kind of route. We'll have to wait and see. But until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourself, take care of your clever girl, and have a good day.